Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Lying to Lori. Jesuits in charge of a Catholic university are reportedly lying to their bishop in an effort to corrupt the young adults in their academic care by busing them to hear a homosexual activist contradict church teaching at the Pro-Queer Life Conference. The Cardinal Newman Society reports the president of Fairfield University in Connecticut, Father Jeffrey Von Arx, assured Bishop William Lori that the event would, quote, not be a vehicle for dissent. However, the university student paper, The Mirror, reports the keynote speaker, gay sex columnist Dan Savage, bashed the Catholic Church directly, using profanity to bash the Bible as a credible source of model behavior, while calling true marriage supporters vile. The event took place at Union Theological Seminary, which calls itself multi-denominational, and in New York as part of their, quote, more than a monologue program, directly aimed at casting doubt on Catholic teaching on homosexuality. Homosexual Hatred. Marriage and family champion Robert George, the Catholic Princeton professor of jurisprudence, is under fire from homosexual lobbyists put in their crosshairs by a letter sent to the president of Princeton University. The letter was sent by Scott Rose, contributor to same-sex lobbyist group called the New Civil Rights Movement, trying to convince the president of Princeton, Shirley Tillman, that her refusal to take action against Professor George for his published work supporting true marriage puts the Ivy League school's integrity on the line. The letter calls Tillman a coward lacking good character in the first line, referring to George as a bigot for publishing his essay, quote, What is Marriage?, and for his associations with the family advocacy group called Focus on the Family. Rose's letter is a public example of the same-sex activist hatred that has led opposers of disordered same-sex lifestyles to lose their jobs for exercising their rights of free speech and religion. Fasting for freedom. A complete government takeover of schools is causing Cardinal Joseph Zen Zikun of China to fast in grief for 3 days, receiving only Holy Communion and water. Vatican Insider reports the new government policy, called the Amended Education Ordinance 2004, takes the management of schools away from the institutions that sponsor them, like the Catholic Church, and turns them over to what is being called a, quote, incorporated management committee. The legislation says the Church can nominate 60% of the committee for its schools, but the Cardinal says that the Church is vulnerable to a, quote, strong, well-trained minority adverse to Catholic teaching, who could effectively hijack the management committee's work. The Church appealed to the Court of Final Appeal to try to block the ordinance, but it was rejected. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Sarandon sans Sanity. Once again, the status of celebrity has gone directly to the head of one Hollywood actress, causing her to publicly insult the Pope. According to an article in the Washington Post, Susan Sarandon called Pope Benedict XVI a Nazi during a press conference at the popular Hamptons Film Festival. The insult was delivered when discussing sending the book Dead Men Walking to Pope John Paul II, saying she sent the book to, the, quote, the last one, not this Nazi one we have now. Sarandon, well known for her outspoken liberal views on practically everything social, political, and religious, was raised Catholic, even taking her undergraduate degree from Catholic University in Washington, D.C. New Nuncio. Our Holy Father, Pope Benedict XVI, has named a new apostolic nuncio to the United States. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano will take up the post in Washington, replacing Archbishop Pietro Sambi, who passed away this past July. Vigano was most recently a secretary to the Vatican City-State Governorate, as well as a veteran diplomat, having served in Nigeria, Iraq, and Great Britain, among others. The Archbishop has been a member of the Vatican's diplomatic service since 1973. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex today, where Michael talks about the battle over what being a real Catholic means. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us, and as always, God bless you.